It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, none other than Barbara Blake Hannah from the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports. And she is going not only to bring greetings from the ministry, but she's going to talk about Rastafari and the Indigenous Nations Database, which is an initiative that she is spearheading at this point in time. So let us give a round of applause as we welcome Barbara Blake Hannah. Give thanks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings. I bring greetings first from the Minister of Culture, Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. She's unable to be here, as you all probably know. She's totally involved in the sports part of our ministry this weekend, honoring the Reddit girls. However, the Ministry of Culture has been a supporter of RootzFest from the very beginning, both from the last administration into this administration. 2 years, I think, was when it was the PNP government, and now in the current government, JLP government. So the Ministry of Culture is totally non-political. The Ministry of Culture's role is to support the Rastafari community, and the minister has asked me especially to bring congratulations to Rastafari and his team for steadfastly continuing Rastafari RootzFest from its earliest beginnings to its 4th year, and wishes more strength and more greatness as Rastafari RootzFest continues. Having brought greetings from the minister in my capacity as an employee of the ministry Monday to Friday, this being my weekend, I can return to being what I've been since 1972, which is a Rasta woman. And in that capacity as a Rasta, since 1972, I have done many things on behalf of the community of which I am a member. I continue to do these, and in fact, because of the things that I've done, several administrations have employed me in different ways to assist the government of Jamaica in carrying out its works. I have been a senator. I think you all are aware I was once an independent senator when no one could be found who was not DNP or JLP to sit in the Senate. They finally found 8 independents, of which I was one and the only woman, and I served for 4 years as a senator. I have done many things similarly within government jobs, worked with the KSAC, for example, but mostly I've been an independent person doing different things in Jamaica. I've been, for example, involved in reparations, helping to found the Jamaica reparations movement. I've been a pioneer of homeschooling because I believe that parents should be the first teachers of their children. And also I had to fight the battle for children to be allowed to wear their dreadlocks to school. That's just some of the issues I've been involved in. But ganja has been one of my main issues. I was a member of the first legalized ganja community campaign. Several of the members, I must give tribute to them because they've passed. Rasta Silva, Lloyd, Sister, thank you, Sajoya Alcott, and Dr. Dennis Forsyth, who challenged the ganja laws in the courts of Jamaica when he was arrested for having a chillum pipe and a spliff. A policeman entered his house after 6 o'clock on an evening when he had been told he should have returned his child to the child's mother according to the terms that had been arranged by the children's court. So they arrested Dr. Forsyth, took him to court, and he decided to challenge the ganja laws and declare that his arrest was illegal. It denied him his sacramental rights. He lost the case, but he won the battle. He won the first battle in which we were able to put the case for the rights of people to use ganja and not to be penalized for it. Blessings to you all. I am one of the few members who remained from that campaign, and it's interesting who the other person was, and that is Lord Anthony Gifford. Yes, the English Lord Anthony Gifford, was a member with us from then, and he and I are the two remaining members of that original campaign. Very proud of the work he has done since. He's always remained faithful. You know that he took reparations to the House of Lords and defended it there, even in face of all the ridicule that he was given by members of the House of Lords. And he still keeps his faith firmly towards the movement of reparations. So that's kind of like who am I, for those of you who don't know me. My job at present as cultural liaison in the Ministry of Culture is a job where I put people in touch with each other who can help Rastafari achieve its objectives. I've been doing this for the past 2 years, and I think we're making some headway in important places. We've done a lot of good work on the Coral Gardens issue, which started out with such, very bitter situation. And it's now very much an even situation. There's dialogue between both sides, the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society and the Ministry of Culture, in which I'm only one employee. There's several much higher than I with greater powers to do. And of course the minister herself, who is totally committed to seeing that everything is done for Coral Gardens. We went to visit some of the elders a couple of weeks ago and see the very dire conditions under which they're living. And not only was an instant decision made by the minister to see that some funds go to them immediately, see that some immediate medical care for one in particular who was needing it urgently. Microphone. And as a result, the decision has been taken to set up an old people's home, the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society Elders Home is now going to be set up in Montego Bay for the victims and survivors of the Coral Gardens incident. So that's just another step that's being taken. You know that the minister herself on her initiative has decided that some of the reparations for Coral Gardens should include the awarding of scholarships, 3 scholarships in each parish, primary, secondary, tertiary, for children, Rastafari children and children of Rastafari parents annually. So these are just some of the things that the ministry is doing, and there are so many more things that need to be done. And as I say, my job is to try and put people in touch with each other. I want to tell you it's not an easy job. People try to confuse, people try to distract. You set up a dialogue and it's going so nicely, and then somebody will come on and code the game with just a sentence in an email. That makes everybody say, oh boy, let me stop making a contribution. Let this story run out and finish. I don't know. That's what happens, you know what I mean? Just like that. The conversation gets interrupted and we don't go any further with the important thing that needs to be done. Why are these people trying to confuse us, I ask? Why are they trying to distract us from the important issue we're discussing? Who is behind it? These are the questions I ask. Because sometimes we think, people couldn't be so stupid. There must be a bigger reason. But all I can do is ask. Try to ignore it and press on to the main objective. Because, all the distractions do is they make a delay, and then the thing gets aborted, and then people say the thing they love to say, Rastas cannot unite. You ever hear them say that? Excuse me, all the time. And it's not true. Rastafari RootzFest is a perfect example of why that is not true. This is 4 years ago, my article on the first one said, perfect example of Rastafari unity. And that's what Rastafari RootzFest is. Everybody here. I heard Priest Fagan preach yesterday morning. His Sabbath speech was just that. Rastafari is so many different, some of us. Because like the emperor ate meat, you didn't know? The Ethiopians do. So when they have a fast, where they say no animal products for 40 days, that shows that Ethiopians were eating animal products before the fast, and the emperor included. So if we're saying to be Rasta is to be like the emperor, and that's what it is, really, well, it's okay. Some people walk barefoot. Some people don't smoke ganja. But Rasta are united by one thing, which is the recognition of the divinity of Emperor Haile Selassie I. And I who say that call ourselves very proudly Rastafari I. And I. I'm sorry, that's how it goes. So, the other day we asked the question, who is a Rasta? That seems like a very redundant question to ask, but it was a very important question to be asked, and to be asked then. Why? The government of Jamaica, in its adjustment to the Dangerous Drugs Act in 2015, declared that Rastafari has sacramental rights to the use of ganja. Sacramental rights not just because we were planting it, but sacramental rights because we were the ones who said smoking ganja makes us feel spiritual, righteous, makes us think things of God, makes us do things to praise God, whom we call Jah, Rastafari. So the government of Jamaica awarded Rastafari sacramental rights. Excellent. Who are the Rastas to have these sacramental rights? Well, I definitely declare mine because me done send me a Rasta a long time. But who else? Who else? So, the United Nations has an organization that checks to see whether the countries that signed the three, what are they called, Sister Mitzi? The three laws, the three regulations, what are they called? It begins with a C. The three laws, the three agreements that all countries in the world signed to control the distribution of ganja. 1961 United Nations Convention. Thank you, Michael. The three conventions that have been signed. Now it turns out that the same organization that sees to it that countries obey these coalitions that have been signed says that Jamaica is in contravention of the conventions because Jamaica has given Rastafari a freedom that no one else is allowed in the use of ganja. The North American Indians have it for peyote, but we're talking about ganja. So, who is entitled? And why are we entitled? Some people have sacramental permits to have events that celebrate Rastafari. This is one. But a lot of people come along and say, I'm a Rasta, I'm holding an event, I want sacramental rights. Who is a Rasta? Trying to put out to get answers to the question, because you know you can't just take a decision, especially in government. You have to prove that you consulted. More than one person decided that the barber would get a pay rise. More than one person decided. It was so difficult to get that. You can go to Wikipedia and get the answer to who is a Rasta, you know. You can go click who is a Rasta on Google, and you run out of pages to check. You run out of pages to check. But to get one answer for the Rasta community was very difficult because of those who want to distract and defer. Because some people would like to see Jamaica punished for doing that. Some people would like to see Rastafari destroyed and wiped off the face of the earth. And that's been from the very beginning. This is the battle that Rastas fought against Babylon from inception. And they haven't stopped fighting, you know, they still fight. The battle is still going and it's hotter every day. It gets even hotter now that the country that is reputed to have the best ganja in the world has now criminalized it, legalized it certainly for a community that lives in Jamaica. So how large is this community? Anybody know how many Rastas, what percentage of the population? The Planning Institute of Jamaica says it's 1%. Yeah, you're pretty surprised. I think that's less than a full house at the National Stadium. That's how many Rastas the Planning Institute says are in Jamaica. I don't believe that. So how do we find out? I see my friend Caleb from the North American Indian tribes. Yes, we have a genuine North American Indian here with us. See this? Stand up, let them see you, sir. Nice, nice. He has a card. He's going to show you. It says, "Hi, Caleb Man. I'm an actual member of the Indigenous Nation and the name of his tribe, his date of birth, etc." He has one. He can print it out at any time and show anyone who stops him, any job, any police. He has an ID that says, "I am a member of this indigenous tribe." Rastafari needs that. Rastafari has to have that now. Rastafari has to have that in order to give strength to the decision that was taken by the government of Jamaica to recognize Rastafari's sacramental rights. Let's give the government of Jamaica some support by showing our numbers, standing up in strength. It was an idea that I put forward some months ago, and the leading lights within the movement have taken it up, come together, and formed the bare bones of what will become the Rastafari Indigenous Database. Just put your names, and by the way, I tell you again, I'm speaking here as Rasta, not as a member of government, because I have not asked that this database be set up by the ministry. And it could be, we could ask, they could fund it, they'd be happy to. But nobody must control this database but Rastafari. It must not be in anybody else's hands. So we're keeping it a Rastafari database organized by Rastafari. And at some point, those who are actually on the ground about it will explain the process. But it will involve each person stating which sacramental space they frequent, which mansion they're part of, which group, which organization. And there's somebody to recognize you. I will wrap up, I'm nearly finished. You will be recognized according to your sacramental space, because if you're claiming sacramental rights, you must have a sacramental space, a place where you go and enjoy the sacrament. This is the main reason why I'm speaking here this morning, to show you the importance of this database. We are going to have to challenge the international agency that's ready to wipe Jamaica out or discredit us or stop our exports or whatever it is they do. By the way, I hear that Rastas are going to sue the government. I didn't know that. Nobody has told us, so I don't know which Rastas are planning to sue the government. But I really wish they would not, because the government is not those people you see, you know. The government is us. When you sue, suppose you sue the government and you win billions of dollars as reparations. Who is going to pay that? It's you and me. Our taxes is going to pay us? Ridiculous. Let's keep looking forward. There is so much that we can gain from our sacramental rights. You know, the Rastafari could unite and, you know, get cheaper fares abroad as a member of an organization. Or we can say to courts, we have our membership fee, we want a 5% discount on every time we buy furniture, and we will therefore all buy our furniture from here. We can set up a credit union, we can set up a bank. I would like us to see the importance of the establishment of a Rastafari Indigenous Database. That will be my campaign for the months and years to come, in addition to the work I will do and continue to do in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. Bless you IFE, bless you Sister Missy, bless you all who have worked to make this event happen. Much love. Rastafari lives.
It's a very important topic that Barbara has just is working on. So I want to see if there are any questions, queries on this.
Good afternoon, Barbara. Can I call you the Barbara?
Well, eminent darling, how many
Nice talk. But in Trinidad, we're trying to, because we're going slower than Jamaica, we know some of the problems that you have up here. So we, on Friday gone, we had to present a position paper to the government. But we have all Rastas, well, we want to get all Rastas under one organization called All Mansions of Rastafari. And the biggest group are in the group, okay? So the chairman is the head of 12 tribes. Our treasurer is Nyabingi, Bongo Jack, the PRO, all of those are Nyabingi elders. And then we have people from the Bobo Shanti and other organization called African Unity. And people actually have to pay a small entry fee, and they are on a database as belonging to this organization because we're trying to push the sacramental rights in a big way. So the recreation and the medicinal is important, but the biggest part of our position paper is the sacramental rights. And we're pushing for legalization rather than criminalization, decriminalization, because I know in Jamaica there's a lot of problem. Because of the decriminalization, more people might be using the thing, and you have your master's degree, you apply for your job or you're eminently qualified for, and then they do blood testing and you get positive, and then you can't get the job because you have some cannabis in your system. And it's because the country still look at the thing as being illegal and it's dangerous, and the cannabis in the man's system not going to affect him at all. I am a very elite surgeon and I use the thing every night, and it don't affect me with no surgery or any decision making. So it's important what you're saying here. As the question is, who is a Rasta? So we can get the sacramental right, and we're planning to have cooperative and all the other things you say about the banking and all this kind of thing, licensing and so, and all that will have to come through All Mansions of Rastafari.
Thank you, Dr. Pottinger. It sounds more like a common, contribution. Anybody else have a question, query?
Blessings, Dr. Hannah, Sister Hannah. Yes, I would love to ask, what is the importance of getting this database and the relation with the international one that is trying to regulate what we're doing?
The database is very important because it is time we listed ourselves. We are a community. There's a database of lawyers, there's a database of teachers, there's a database of journalists. We're a group. It's time for us to have a database. But especially the international agency, they have a lot of questions like, what makes a Rasta? When do you smoke? How often do you pray each day? Etc. They are defining a religion by comparing it to other religions. So in a way we have to use those forms of definition to define our own as well. Even if we're different, because one question was, at what age do you allow children to smoke ganja? Well, I said, well, maybe 13, and they were shocked. But I said, but a Jewish child does bar mitzvah at 13, after which he can have a sip of wine. Oh, they were very shocked to realize there's a similarity and even an analogy. So we need to be able to have those discussions within ourselves and put them down in front of people who have the power at the moment to make decisions. This was a German man and an Italian man, and they have the power to make decisions about my religion and how I celebrate my religion, because they don't know enough about my religion. All they know is that, oh, it's controversial, it's those crazy people that they smoke ganja. That's all they know. They don't know the heights in which we exist, what we believe. They just don't know. So So we have to educate them, as we ourselves have to be educated. I didn't know everything in 1972. I didn't even know I should wear a skirt. I had to throw away all my trousers, because Rasta said this is how a woman dresses. I don't know whether you agree or not, but I liked the idea very much, and still do. These are things we have learned. A Muslim woman, same way. She doesn't consider herself properly dressed unless she's wrapped. You know, just what is a Rasta? Who is a Rasta? These questions, we need to remind ourselves of the answers.
Thank you, Barbara.